Hi guys, welcome to your week 34 U.S. history launch, and we are finishing up our project on the workers versus industrialists. But I'd first like to discuss the Focus on the Finish challenge. This was updated Friday, April 13th at 11 a.m. So anything you did after that time or over the weekend has not been taken into account. So if you did do work over the weekend or after 11 a.m. on Friday, it will be taken into account for the next one when we count these up again next Friday. So there's two remaining things. I believe this ends Friday, April 27th. So there will be two more checkpoints, with the final results being calculated on April 27th. Right now, 8th grade, you're doing a great job of staying in the lead, and you actually expanded your lead a little bit over 7th grade this week. And you've worked it out that you have about 9.1 points per learner. So you guys are doing an excellent job. Keep it up. As of Monday, April 16th, there are 30 days of school left. So I know that a few of you who do watch the launches every week have not really submitted much at all. I promise you that the longer you put this off, the harder it's getting. There's still 6 weeks. If you just grin and bear it basically and buckle down and say that you're going to do this, there's a lot of people that want to help, but it's up to you to make that commitment and for you to start it. So basically, you should also know that we keep preaching the hard end date for the end of school is May 25th. There will really be no extensions. So when I say there won't be any extensions, what they're looking at is if you are someone who has done next to nothing all school year, you are likely going to be retained in your current grade, meaning you're not going to move on to the next grade if you fail more than 2 classes this year. If you are somebody who's done about half of your work, 50 to 70% of your work, but you're behind, you will have the opportunity to pay $100 per course to take part in our summer school, where you will have a couple weeks to extend that class and finish. And then there's also the option of just finishing everything on time and passing like you are expected to do. I'd like to play a message right now from our principal, Mrs. Salyard. She has a brief message for you guys regarding the end of the school year.
Remember, the end of the year is a hard deadline to finish. There will not be an option just to get extra time to finish out what you're doing. So this is your reminder to really keep working and finish strong, and be in touch with your learning guides and me. If we can help you in any way, we're more than glad to do that. Please attend learning labs to get some concentrated work time in. And looking forward to lots of great work from you guys. And hang in there, it's almost summer.
Okay, so straight from the mouth of the principal, also saying hard deadline, May 25th. So take these last 30 days and get to work. 8th grade, you are working on checkpoint 3, and some of you have started to submit the mock trial script draft. And what that is, if you look into your checkpoints, you want to open that up. Whenever you are deciding whenever you're doing which one to send, you want to make sure you're using the correct template that you're sending. So again, in the second checkpoint, you should have determined if you were the defense or the prosecution. So make sure you open that up and actually open the correct template to use. Once you open that up, I do want you'd see something similar to this. And I think when you open it up, you'll only see 3 or 4 rows on this table. I would like to show you how to insert more rows, because you should definitely be adding more than 3 pieces of evidence. So you should have, there's 5 affidavits, I believe, and I would expect at least 2 pieces of evidence from each one. So you should really be having about 10 pieces of evidence at a minimum just from those 5 affidavits alone. So I just want to show this short clip of you basically want to go into the table, right click and insert row below. So you just want to keep repeating that for every column or row that you want to add. You just right click and keep hitting insert new row. So also, you do not have to do this entire template. What I want you to do is just, you're just going to do the opening statement as well. So do the opening statement that's here, and as well as fill in this evidence table. And then all you're doing on this one is making sure you're basically carrying things over from checkpoint 1 and 2. So you're putting what your argument is, aka what are you charging these people with, then put your evidence, your quote, and then you're going to put your explanation. So just like a lawyer would say in court, this testimony proves this, or you're trying to basically explain how that quote or picture or whatever you're choosing as a resource how that is going to prove murder or enslavement or any of the ones that you're trying to prove. So then you'll do this, the opening statement, and then forget about the rest of it. You do not have to do that. If you finish this draft, what I want you to do is go ahead and go into the final product, and all you have to do is copy and paste your material into the final product. Then in addition to that, because you are being graded on your oral presentation, and we cannot really conduct a mock trial in this kind of setting because our learners are so all over the place in where they are right now, what I ask is that you present yourself or record yourself presenting your case. The easiest one I think is to use Loom. And then if you have a preferred site that you use, but it's very important that you leave your camera on, because I cannot grade an oral presentation and see eye contact and those kind of things if I can't see you. So share your screen, but Loom is great because I can still see you in the corner presenting your material. Remember to make eye contact, and I know in a cyber setting it's a little different, but you want to make sure that, I know you're reading material, but make sure you're frequently looking up and looking into that camera. And then make sure you're speaking at a reasonable pace. You don't want to speak too slow, but you also don't want to speak so fast that I can't understand what you're saying. So all you would do is record in Loom or whatever else. You'd get the link to that recording, put it into your final product, and then you can submit that for my feedback. Week 34 is going to run from Wednesday, April 18th to Tuesday, April 24th. And it should be known now that the PSSA Makeup Day 1 is April 24th. So if you did not attend any of your sessions, you are expected to come to the building on April 24th, unless you've already worked it out with Mrs. Salyards or Mrs. Dodge. And for this week, I want to see you guys working on mastering that industrialization focus area. If you have finished all of those other focus areas, I recommend doing the additional focus areas, especially the early 1800s in Northeast America. That'll give you a little bit of a better feel of the industrialization of the North. And then also work to submit checkpoint 3 of the Workers versus Industrialists project. And then your reflection this week, I want you to be honest with me and tell me 2 things that you will submit in history this week. So if you are one of the people who watches this launch every single week but does not work, then please don't even respond, because I'm not interested. I want to know 2 things that you are actually going to submit. So whether that is at least going to be an attempt of a focus area, you don't have to master it, but you could attempt it. So I want to know 2 things that you're going to try this week.